Hey, what's up, guys? Wanted to make a video on a way that I'm structuring out tasks which are difficult to be structured. Meaning, usually, as you know, how my to-do list that's just says things I need to be doing. It usually has a few tasks in there which are like one time, right? Stuff that came up that I couldn't foresee, but I built them into the to-do list for the coming days, right? That's fine. But then there's times where majority of the tasks is like kind of miscellaneous, meaning that you probably got into several new things at a short amount of time, right? Which I did recently. Basically got into several different ways of structuring out the business. Not like major differences, but still different things that I'm trying out at the same time, which always falls back on having a task list that is sort of all over the place, right? Meaning you can't really structure them down to your previous categories. After you get through trying out and seeing what you're going to keep or you're going to take out, new categories are going to come into place. Now, without getting too much into that stuff, what I want to show you is a hierarchy of what I'm calling task tai chi. Hierarchy of task tai chi, okay? Because I really believe it's a lot to do with moving things in and out that flows with how you work. That's the emphasis, right? What we as a person feel to do on in the morning, afternoon, evening. I talked about this before, and then what I'm realizing now is if you have enough stuff, it should also be broken down into days of the week, right? For example, I know that if I take one category, I'm going to share the category soon, one of the categories and do it all today on Monday, all of them are going to be wiped out for sure, because they're all kind of bunched in the similar kind of tasks, right? If I line them up and then do one by one, it all needs the same kind of attention and whatever you want to call it, focus. So it's much easier. All right. So having that said, let's get into it. Number one, out of miscellaneous tasks that you have on your to-do list, which is all over the place, number one thing you should be doing is emergency tasks. Emergency task, for example, is day before yesterday, my client's site it's not loaded. I tried to call HostGator. They're saying something's wrong with the service. HostGator fucking sucks, right? I hate them. Usually, I always recommend SiteGround to my clients, but this is somebody who already had this hosting account. But the point is, so we're gonna move them over. This is emergency. This guy is not gonna get business if his website doesn't load, right? So this is emergency. This comes first, right? So emergency task, I'm putting him as first, and that's one of the first things I'm going to be doing, right? I'm going to go through my list and see if there's any other things like that that's emergency. People that need, that's basically, if you don't, the sooner you do it, every hour matters, shit like that, right? So that should come first. Number two, awaiting proposals. This is something that I've been realizing more and more now, which is kind of almost a little disappointing, meaning that people who have reached out, people that I know are in the sidelines of, if I really push, I can turn them into clients, but I'm just not pushing. Somehow they escape the entire loop. Meaning I send them the email, they showed some interest, maybe I did a few follow-ups here and there, and then since I'm into so much stuff at the same time, I actually forgot to follow back up, actually forgot to call them until I did a sweep to see, going back in my emails again, going back into some of the this list I have, basically the people who got interested but never closed. I've sometimes put them in there, and I check them once in a while. Before I used to check that shit like every other day. Now I check them maybe once a month, and I see them there, like, oh shit, I forgot. These guys are awaiting proposals pretty much, right? I should reach back out to them, maybe plan something for them, show them what we can do, and try to close them. That is gonna be next, right? You've spent a lot of time and energy to get them to that point. Send them emails, send them information. These are usually people that have already spent some time. They checked out my stuff before, some of the stuff that I've done for other clients, etc. But I never pushed for the sale. So that's going to be next, right? Emergency tasks, awaiting proposals. It's not a big list. I think there's like 2 people right now that I should be sending something out to. So that doesn't take that much time at all. That's that, right? I wish that was long enough. awaiting proposals, the day that list gets long enough for me to do a whole day out of, it's that's that's a different caliber next step shit, right? Usually it's gonna be like something that I just fit in once or twice a month, right? Like accumulation of leads that I forgot to reach out to, then boom, I do. All right. Number 3, people who are waiting on me. Okay. This is something that as soon as you start scaling is gonna be a big part, right? People who are waiting on you. And once emergency tasks are done, and you shouldn't really have awaiting proposals, because if you have a system in place, like we should, which I still don't like bulletproof, I have one for more or less, but anyways, once you have systems in place, this is something that's going to, once you start scaling, is going to be a big part. People are waiting on you, meaning, number 1, your team. I have right now my VA who's waiting for me to make some new trainings for some new tasks that need to be done, right? So far, all the basic stuff is done, right? All the basic stuff from the client comes on board to the point where they should be starting to get some links, etc. You know, all the basic foundation is done. Now I would like to make some training for a bit more out there, right? One of the things in the list is like a drive stack. You get the point, right? Those kind of stuff. So until those stuff are done, for the clients that just came in, my assistant's gonna have to make that, right? Which is very tedious, a very, very super tedious task. Probably one of the most tedious tasks there is, I think. And she would have to make that. And if she didn't have that on her plate, she would be able to just be free to do other stuff, right? That's where I'm trying to get my assistant really like to the point where I can't see anything she has to do, because then I can create things she has to do from my plate. Right now, my plate, if her plate is full from things that the VA can't do, then her plate is full. If I can make the trainings for the VA to take that, then her plate is empty and she will naturally take some of the stuff from my plate, right? Such as maybe contacting fucking HostGator and getting that thing resolved with why the website is not loading, and then, you know, transferring the site over to a better hosting, etc. Those kind of stuff, I do it now, right? If I made the trainings for VA, she would be able to do it. You see, that pass along. So this is huge. People who are waiting on me. So first is your team. Number 2 is, again, people who is kind of anything you're bottlenecking yourself. I think that's the word, right? Anything where it's a hub, you have to do one task that sets off a series of other tasks, and that is very important. You need to put that high up on your list, because if you just do that, it's gonna take off. Another example, I have somebody who's kind of helping me out with Facebook ads. We're just trying to test some stuff out. He needs me to create basically a document, right? Like a PDF thing that he's going to be using to run some ads and stuff like that. And that document is bottlenecking that whole procedure. So the whole series of things this guy's going to do for the client with the Facebook ads, running them out, you know, tracking, all that shit, all of Facebook ads, right? That he's going to be doing now is waiting on one task from me, creating a PDF, right? If I just make this today, then boom, it sets off that entire series of things he's going to do, and it propels shit forward. So that's why it's very important on this. Number 3. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. I was just looking at to see, like, you know, if it makes sense with the exact like order, but you guys get the point, right? Emergency tasks, awaiting proposals. You know, that shit's gonna bring in easy sales. And then number 3 is gonna be, people who are waiting on me to start doing their own shit, right? And all right, guys, so that's pretty much what I put down. And this, I just sat down and did this, right? This makes me feel a lot better, because I woke up and I'm like, all right, I got all my tasks. It's like fucking like 4 or 5 pages, right? I put for the next coming week, but it's all over the place. It's like all different tasks in every direction. They're kind of organized with client and stuff like that. But then but then I'm like trying to see, like, okay, what should I do today? Like that's a long list. What should I do today? And this is what I came up with, and probably something I'm going to be using. All right, so hope that helped, and you guys got something out of it.